Alfie, brilliant movement. You pass it there, move backwards, and you received it so you could see the ball. Love it. Played a 1-2. I love it. Fantastic goal. Well played. The arrival activity is a game of bib tag. Every player has a bib and they tuck it in the shorts. The other players have to try and pull that bib out. The important thing for me as a coach is to put the bibs on the hips, because what it does, it helps players with their movements to protect the ball. So rather than being quite square and having the bibs behind them, putting the bibs in the sides of the shorts next to their hips is really important, because it replicates movements that they would do in a game of football. Also, I planned out different spaces, so the game could be played in a tight space and you get different movement skills in a tight space compared to when we open the game up into a much bigger space. Coaches, by simply removing the cones, we've created a much bigger area, therefore we will get more sprints and we'll get different types of movement to beat defenders. So by simply just removing some cones, we're changing the physical challenge for the players and how they move onto the pitch. So the progression in this game, or the change in this game, is the space, and also whether the bib is on the left or right hip. So the players will have a different challenge if the bib is on the left hip compared to the right hip, and a different movement challenge when we open up the space. Practice 1 is called Double Trouble, and it was an opportunity to create some 2 versus 1s plus a goalkeeper. Again, the important thing here was, 1, giving the defender and goalkeeper opportunities to take it in turns, but also giving the teams that are attacking opportunities to plan out how they were going to beat a defender and when and where they're going to move. The other important part of this practice was making sure that the team defending the goal had an opportunity to win possession and score at the other end of the pitch. 1, because it motivates them to know that they can score in the back of the net, but secondly, we get some transitions and you then get players connecting and combining from more random positions when it's less structured in terms of where the goalkeeper and defender are. If the players are taking responsibility for understanding the game and playing the game, it gives me a better opportunity to coach them from the side of the pitch or potentially on the pitch. So I'm observing for things that I could coach rather than how they play the game. Also important for me to recognise space, so we had a bigger space and a tighter space, which give different movement challenges as well as tactical challenges for the players. It's important to give the players an opportunity to practice those moments when they win or lose the ball to go and attack. So we've just seen, we've won the ball, we've tried to get it back, we've got back, we've won the ball and gone again. So we are connecting and combining with each other in moments when the ball is won or lost, rather than from a structured start all the time. And hold it there. Right. So what we're going to do, we're going to call it a target game. So imagine you as a defender or a midfield player trying to pass it into a striker. So you're Jude Bellingham trying to pass it into Harry Kane. Right? The 2 players on the ends are like our Harry Kanes. And we score a goal by passing it into Harry Kane. Is that okay? So we're playing blues versus yellows. Here's the game. James, hold the ball. Right? If James passes it in here, right, that counts as a goal. Now, if the blues pass it to one of our players on the end, you give it back to a blue. So Harley might stand here, James there. You can choose who you give it to. Pass it back to one of the blues. Brilliant. And you score. Now you're going that way to score. So once you've scored at one end, you go the other end. 1-0 blues. Goes back to a blue. Keep playing, keep playing. You can pass it into there. You can pass it back to him if you need to. That's it. Yellows, you can't go in. Jude, think about your position. If the ball comes on the pitch to a blue, how you might help. That's it. Think about planning where you're going to be to help the blues. I love it. Great turn. Great goal, blues. Love it. The space was different, so we had a tighter space and a bigger space, but I wanted to give the players a voice and choice of whether they thought the space was too tight or whether they wanted to open it up. And I also wanted to give them responsibility to reset the area. One, so they know where the area is, but secondly, to increase their playing time so it's not me just setting the game up. It was important in the end zone game for players to recognise why there's a target player. So I made sure that I sold the message that the target player was like a striker and they were midfield players or defenders combining to play into a striker. During the practice, I wanted to make sure I collected the footballs in, which made sure that they played the game for longer rather than them having to collect footballs. And I also wanted to spot moments when they did things well. So whether that was the timing of their movement or their positioning that they're in. For the match at the end, again, I wanted the players to play with freedom, to apply some of the thoughts and ideas that they had come up with during the session. And it was another opportunity for me to either show them some pictures to get them thinking about how they might beat a defender or when and where they might move, or also highlight things that they did really well either individually or collectively. The other thing that I'm dead keen to do is pick stuff up when they're playing. So rather than it be, I've got to pick the cones up before they start playing, just let them carry on playing, pick the cones up, and they'll just get more playing time. Alfie, brilliant movement. You pass it there, move backwards, and you received it so you could see the ball. Love it. Played a 1-2. I love it. Fantastic goal. Well played.